Hello, my name is Matt Henry, and I'd like to welcome you to the very first installment of a podcast dedicated to leadership that I'm calling The Grit and the Grime. The reason I named it that is I believe that as a good, ethical, moral, principled leader, you have to have a whole lot of grit to deal with all the grimy people, the grimy situations you may find yourself in, and sometimes to be able to stand up and refuse to do very grimy, unethical things by people who are very grimy and unethical themselves. Nowadays, I believe we have very, very few leaders. We're hurting for them. And the thing is, I believe most people in positions of authority fall into a category I call the go along gang. The go along gang is basically they go along. They don't question whether an order is moral, principled, good, ethical. They don't consider how it will affect the morale and the welfare of their employees or their subordinates. If it benefits them to agree to something, if they look like they're kissing up and they're climbing that ladder, they're trying to better their position, they're trying to get a more important title, they're trying to get a better situation for themselves, and many times they're trying to do less work, then that's what they'll do. I have an entire podcast episode dedicated to the attributes of the go along gang. But today I want to talk about something that I believe is a huge problem in workplaces nowadays. It is crushing morale. And I believe in maybe 75 to 80% of workplaces, this is the case. Now, just imagine this. You are a dedicated, loyal, hardworking employee. You go above and beyond. You take your own initiative. You will sacrifice. You will miss meals. You'll wait to use the bathroom. You'll get home late. You won't spend time with your loved ones. You will go that extra mile. You will do whatever it takes to get the mission accomplished. And yet you don't ask for favors. You don't ask for a pat on the back. You don't ask for anybody to do anything out of the ordinary for you. You come to work fully expecting to have to work and do your job. And then this is how you get rewarded. One of your bosses or people over you come to you and say, "Hey, we think you're doing a great job. We see all this potential in you. Everything we ask you to do, you're knocking it out of the park. And we believe we can put our full trust and faith in you." You see, we have an employee over here though, and they're not able to do the job the way that you are. You have an A, B, and a C that you do, and you do a wonderful job of all of them. But they also have an A, B, and a C, and they're only able to accomplish B. So we believe that if we give you their A and their C, that you will also do an incredible job and you'll make sure that all the work gets done. We believe in you. Now, how does that strike you for a reward? Not very rewarding, is it? But that's how these workplaces, that's how these professional settings tend to handle business. They reward the lazy, whiny employees that'll go make a complaint on them, all because they're asked to do their job, and you will suffer. And I believe there's three reasons for this. Now, first of all, everyone is an individual. Everyone has their own personality. And as a leader, you should at least invest enough time in someone to know what motivates them and what kind of personality they have. Sometimes it isn't that someone's lazy, it's that they aren't very inspired by the job or the people above them. And so you have to use different tactics and techniques to get them motivated. Secondly, I believe that people are scared of complaints. The same people who refuse to do their job and expect to come to work and not do anything, they're the ones who will run and make a complaint on you when you ask them to do what you hired them to do. It doesn't make any sense, but it's how it happened. And the third thing is, these places don't address this properly and hold people accountable. There's no system of, okay, you're not able to accomplish your job. So we're going to do this action. And if it doesn't rectify the situation, then we're going to have to let you go. No. What they do instead is make the hardworking, dedicated employee suffer. And then they allow the lazy, whiny person who wants to come to work and get paid to not do anything to get over. How do we fix this? Well, the only way to fix it is to refuse to do that extra work. I'm not saying don't go above and beyond. I'm not saying don't keep knocking it out of the park. I'm not saying don't do a good job. I'm not saying don't come in early or leave late. What I am saying is, if you're doing a good job of the job that you were hired to do, then your supervisors or your superiors should be totally ecstatic and happy with the job you're doing. They shouldn't want to pile more on top of you. But because we have an accountability problem, that's what they do. And many times, these organizations are led by people who delegate everything so they can give it to someone who will do it effectively and make them look good. That's how the workplaces go. In most cases, I do believe. And so I believe until people say, no, I'm not going to do that. I refuse to do any more work than you hired me for, because you're not making everybody meet the same standard. Make everybody meet the same standard, and then you can expect me to do a little more, because that's in my personality. You see, I had a platoon sergeant one time who told me, if you're not willing to stand up for you, why should I be? And I immediately got that. So what I think is that we have to hold the people over us accountable by not agreeing to be basically just beat into submission by work. You know, if someone's not doing their job, they shouldn't look at you and make you take it on. What they should do is make that person do their job or get rid of them. My name is Matt Henry. This is The Grit and the Grime. As always, every one of these episodes will be brought to you by God who woke me up this morning and the humor log keeping my sugar down. I'll see you next time on The Grit and the Grime.